So I have tried to film this intro for this video forever. So this is as good as it's gonna get. My name's Jess and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm new to posting and creating videos here, but I am not new to trying to lose weight, which is what this channel is going to be about, hopefully. This is the first video in the journey of trying to lose weight, and I'm assuming that you clicked on this video because of the title, so you're probably interested in watching my journey, or you're interested in trying to lose weight yourself. So my hopes for this channel are to create a sense of accountability for myself, because I've tried to do this so many times and failed, but also to create a sense of community, not only for myself but for whoever else watches these videos in the future, who may be in the same situation as I am, trying to lose weight and it not working in the past, and so they are coming here for inspiration and motivation. I myself was inspired to start this channel by another YouTuber on here. Her name is Beatrice Caruso, and she started documenting her weight loss journey pretty recently, I think about 4 or 5 months ago, and I just find her videos to be really raw and realistic, and she shares not only the good things of her journey but also the bad things, and I'm hoping to also do that on my channel, to be really transparent and to share not only the fails, which I'm sure there will be a plethora of, but also the successes, because I'm hoping that there's just as many of those as well. I know that Beatrice isn't the first person to come on here and share her weight loss journey, but she just happens to be the one that I connected to the most, and she really inspired me, and I think that if she can do it, so can I. So like I mentioned before, I am not new to being overweight. I'm not new to trying to lose weight, but I'm sure you've all heard of the freshman 15, right? You start college, it's a really big transition, so a lot of times people end up gaining weight. Well, I have gained the COVID-19. I have been working from home for the past 6 months, and I really have noticed that over these past 6 months, my weight has kind of just gone so it's just kind of been a wake-up call for me, like, girl, get it together, lose this weight. Like I said, I've tried so many times in the past, and I'm hoping that by being vulnerable and open about this journey and posting it for people to see on a public platform, it'll really hold me to it this time, because it would be pretty embarrassing to post this and then to not lose the weight. So I feel like I could probably make a whole nother video on why exactly I'm overweight. I think it's a bunch of different factors that have played it together. I mean, nothing traumatic ever happened to me that made me gain a bunch of weight. I think it was just over time and over the years, it kind of just slowly increased, and here I am. I mean, I can remember being, or at least thinking, that I was overweight for the longest time. I mean, when I was in elementary school, I remember thinking, oh, I'm bigger than most of my friends. Just so concerning that at my age I was concerned about that. Yeah, I mean, I was a little chubby, but it wasn't anything to lose sleep over. And then when I got into middle school, again, I still kind of just continued to think that I was a lot heavier than my friends. And at that time I was fairly active. I played fast pitch and volleyball in school, and so I was getting, exercise in. But I look back at my pictures now and I'm just like, what was I thinking? I really wasn't that big, and I wish now that I weighed what I weighed back then. If I can find some pictures, I'll post them somewhere over here for you guys to see, next to maybe some pictures of myself now, just for a comparison. But when I went into high school, again, I mean, just the same thought process of, oh, I'm big and everyone else is smaller than me, and that's a really big, self-esteem killer, especially when you're in high school. You know, you already feel like you're being judged and it's a hard transition. And on top of that, I moved school districts when I was in junior high, and that was really hard for me. My best friend did transition with me, but we didn't have any classes together. We didn't really see each other throughout the day, and so I kind of just felt lonely. I'm not very good at making friends. I've never been good at making friends. So that transition was rough. And even though I was in the same school district for like 4 years, I just feel like I never really acclimated properly. When I got into high school, I did make a handful of friends, which I guess quality over quantity, you know. And when I did end up hanging out with my friends, I mean, there was nothing really to do at that time except for go out to eat. I also, when I got into high school, wasn't doing any sports. I did do swim for a year, but I mean, that was for a year. That didn't really do anything, and so that was the extent of my physical activity at that time. And then I went to college, and I ended up staying at home because I was just down the street from campus. And again, that was kind of rough for me. I remember thinking at the time, like, oh, you know, this sucks because I'm not going to be able to get the full college experience by living on campus. And so I think that affected my mindset when I was in school. I had one friend when I was in college. Again, quality over quantity. She's a great friend and I'm still friends with her, you know, even though we've already graduated. But I still felt really lonely. I didn't spend a lot of time on campus. I went pretty much to go to class, and then I worked and I went home, and that was pretty much it. And when I did go out with friends, it was to eat. Luckily at that time, I worked both in the fast food industry and I worked at a childcare center, and both of those jobs keep you on your feet a lot of the time. You don't really have time to sit down. So at least at that time, I had some sort of, you know, physical activity, if you'd call it that. But when I graduated college, I got my first big girl job, and it's a split between a desk job and a field job. So I go out and I license childcare centers. So I do some traveling in order to get to each site. But I mean, the other half of that time is spent at a desk, sitting at a computer. So the amount of movement that I was doing once I graduated college, it just continued to decline. And I've been at that job for about 4.5 years, and then within the last 6 months, it has pretty much come to a halt because I work from home now because of the pandemic. I wake up in the morning, come to my living room, I sit on the couch. It's pretty much where I spend my entire work day, and then when I'm off of work, I spend whatever leftover time I have sitting on the couch still watching TV. I have literally turned into a couch potato. I kid you not, a couch potato. While I'm home, I do a lot of snacking. It almost reminds me of the eating habits that are pretty similar to like a stoner, you know, when you like get the munchies and you just eat everything. That's me. Like, I'm constantly getting up and going to the refrigerator and getting something to eat, and I feel like every time I open the fridge, I'm like the Terminator, you know, like I'll be back. Like, I get a snack now, but I'll be back later because I'm gonna come back for another one. So let's talk about the reasons why I want to lose weight. I think the biggest reason, and I'm slightly ashamed to say this, but I'm just trying to be honest, is I just want to be thinner because I think that I'll look better and have more self-confidence in myself. Confidence has always been such an issue for as long as I can remember. I just don't have any self-esteem. I don't believe in myself. I talk bad about myself. I mean, it's totally true what they say, like, you're your own worst critic, and that's absolutely true. I have such a negative mindset about myself, and I'm hoping that, you know, with this journey, if I can actually succeed this time, I will have better self-confidence. And I know that that doesn't come from, you know, just the way you look, but I also think that my confidence will boost if I'm successful because I can say, like, I actually did this. And so I also think that when I lose the weight, I'll just feel better all around, like physically, mentally, emotionally, which hopefully will also have a boost in my self-esteem and the way that I think about myself. I really want this space and this channel to be a space of positivity. There's so much negativity in the world, coming from other people, but also probably coming from yourself, just like me. And I want to be able to come on here and share my thoughts and share my experiences, and also hear what, you know, other people who are going through this journey have to say, and motivate each other to continue going and to achieve our goals. I want this channel to be really motivational and inspirational. I'm also just really tired of feeling like crap. I just feel so sluggish all the time because, you know, I'm so big and I'm tired all the time. Like, I could honestly sleep 24/7. I'm pretty sure if someone let me sleep, I could just sleep all day. I'm not a fan of cats, but I'm pretty sure my spirit animal is a cat. Like, cats sleep all the time, I want to sleep all the time. I also have serious problems with my lower back. I think about a year ago is when the issues really started. I tweaked my back one day. I've done it several times since then. I just feel like it's getting worse. Let me tell you, lower back pain is not fun, and I'm only 26 and it makes me feel like I'm a grandma. My guess is that it's probably because of my very limited physical activity, and my muscles are probably just so tight and not used to certain movements, and so that's how I end up pulling, you know, my back. Another really big reason is why I want to actually succeed this time is because I got engaged last December. We were supposed to be getting married February of 2021, but with everything that's going on, that's probably not going to happen, so we have pushed it back to February of 2022. I'm not ashamed to also say that I just want to be able to wear a really beautiful wedding gown and get amazing pictures taken and just feel super beautiful and confident in my dress and in my skin on my wedding day, because it's only gonna happen one time, and I don't want to look back and regret being overweight. I don't actually know what an ideal weight for someone my height and my age is. I'm 26 and I'm 5'2". I weighed myself this morning and I weighed in a whopping 205.6, which is the highest weight I've ever been in my life. For a while I was kind of bouncing back and forth between like 195, 196, and I just kept telling myself, as long as you don't go over 200, you're not that big. Well, I'm over 200 now. I'm 205.6. So I figured a good starting point would be to try and get down to the weight that I have on my driver's license. I have updated my license several times since I've gotten it, but I have not updated the weight that is on my license because I'm too embarrassed. So it says 160 on my license, so I figured that's a good starting point. Once I get down to 160, I'll have a better idea of, do I need to lose more weight? Is this a sustainable weight for me? So that is the first goal. As far as what this channel is going to look like, I'm not quite sure yet. I think that I probably want to do like a weekly update of some sorts because I plan to weigh in once a week, so might as well make a video updating anyone who happens to be watching these videos. I also thought it would be fun to do some workout challenges, again inspired by Beatrice. I think that she did Chloe Ting's 2-week shredder challenge, so I think that I'll probably start with that. But if anyone else has any other ideas, I'm very open, and you can leave them in the comment box and I'll take a look at that. So I'll be including, you know, whatever workouts I do during that week into my weekly update, and probably throw in whatever I happen to be eating during the week as well. So if you watched this video up until now, I appreciate you sticking around, and if you feel the desire to follow me on my weight loss journey, then I encourage you to subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I'll see you next week.